Okay, do I have your permission to share this video with my DAT course, Corrective Techniques for Muscular Dysfunction?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do an assessment of the rotation that this patient can exhibit. We've used him in the past for our rolling videos that we did in the first block of classes. So to save on some time, I'm just going to have him demonstrate upper extremity rolls because that was where a lot of his issues stemmed from last time. So he's going to start with prone to supine, rolling, right to left, and you can see that he's limited on thoracic rotation, going both prone to supine and supine to prone. Go ahead and do that one more time. Good. And go back. Okay. I'm going to scoot over to your left just a little bit, and we're going to have you roll using your roll in the opposite way. Good. See a little bit more motion at the hips and in the thoracic spine. It's a struggle for him just to be able to rotate from prone to supine and supine to prone. Go ahead and do one more for me. Good, and roll back. Cheating. So, there we go. Okay, so to address some of his range of motion issue, first thing we're going to do, go ahead and move. First thing we're going to do is just a passive stretch. This is something that I learned in SFMA. It's also featured in one of the articles that we use this week. So, go ahead and face the camera so they can see kind of where you're limited. So he's going to be in a kneeling position. His elbows are going to be touching his knees. He's going to cross his left hand onto his right shoulder. Right hand up, and then he's going to try to rotate up to his right without having to. You can see the compensation if you're just trying to rotate here. Don't cheat anywhere else. You can see that he's very, very limited. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock him in place. We're going to put an arm through here. He's kind of big, so it's a little harder for me. And then I'm going to do that passive stretch for him. And you can see he's got a lot more range of motion. There is a little bit of shift, so you really got to make sure you lock him in place. And then you're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. And we'll go ahead. Let's just look at the other side for comparison to see if there's a big difference. So go ahead. Maybe a little bit better, but still pretty limited, still without cheating anyways. So we're going to lock them in place, and we're going to do that same rotational stretch. Okay, so that would be one of the first things I would do before we have them doing any kind of exercise, because obviously we want mobility before stability. So from a progression standpoint, the first thing we're going to do is an assisted roll. So let's move this out of the way. And go ahead and get on your stomach, and we'll demonstrate that first. And that's good. No one's snapping at me. Okay, so we're going to assist him in the prone to supine roll for the upper extremities. So I'm just going to give him a little bit of assistance so you can focus on rotating in the thoracic spine first and then letting everything else follow. And we'll just go back. Same thing. Just a little bit of assistance to help him. And then we'll go back. You got to do 5 each way. Good. Go ahead. Make sure you're controlling yourself on the way down. Don't just flop down. Yep. That's better. Good. And then we'll go back this way. As you can see, he's struggling just with this. We would need to do a lot of mobility work before we advance to any kind of exercises. All right, come on, let's do one more. Okay, and one more forward. I think we got one more to get to 5. Don't cheat, don't use your lower extremity. We're just doing upper extremity work. And reach back. Good. And done. Okay. So after we did, after he's proven that, we're just going to demonstrate that one side. So after he's proven that he can do that without assistance, we're going to advance to something a little trickier. We're going to start with a chop in the kneeling position. We'll have him face the camera. He's going to start up overhead, and I'm going to be applying a little bit of resistance. He's going to pull down. You're going to do 5, you're reaching up all the way, reach up high, and then pull down. Good? Not all the way. Smart out. Good. Do 2 more. Good. And 1 more. He's a little stronger than I am, you can see, and we're going to do the same thing, go another way. Good. Slow and controlled, controlled. Good. Good. Do 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, so to advance this a little bit, make it a little bit harder, we put him in a half kneeling position, so go ahead and put one of your feet out in front of you. We don't have an RX pad at the gym we're at, but I would normally use an RX pad just to add arms straight back behind you. Yep, and then twist. To add a different base of support. Good? Control. Okay, go ahead and switch feet. Go. And 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's about to pull me over. 5. Okay. And then from there, we'd advance to kind of a version of a Russian twist. To progress it right, I'm going to have him start with his feet on the ground, and he's doing the same thing. He's just doing we'll just do straight rotation instead of the chop. So he's rotating through. Yep. Good. 3, 4, 5. Switch to the other side. 1, 2, control. 3, 4, 5. And then to make it a little bit harder, we're going to have him lift his feet up off the ground, changing his base of support and center of gravity. 1, keep your feet off the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, he's struggling with this one a little bit. You know, this is obviously where teaching core stabilization and keeping a neutral spine definitely comes into play. 3, 4, 5. Good. Ideally, I would also probably have him do this with hand weights instead of a TheraBand. And the last one, just to get a little bit crazy and give him an even more unstable surface, we're going to have you sit on this. So this is the YMCA's version of a BOSU ball in Mount Sterling, Illinois. And we'll have him do the same rotational stuff. So his feet, he's going to be balancing on the BOSU, feet off the ground. Get your balance first. You might, okay. 1, we're just doing rotation, you don't do the chop, so just rotating from, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ideally, have him a little bit more centered in the BOSU. He's leaning back so that he's more in a V position than in a seated position like he is right now, but it's all right. Do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then, you know, if we were in the ideal setting, I'd also have him doing some standing rotational work. So either a chop with like a TheraBand mounted to the wall, and you can have him do a 2-footed or a single leg stance, and then add in an AirX as they progress from there to change the base of support a little bit more. And that is it. So thank you very much. Good job, Chad.